Over the weekend, you could have paid $99 to watch the Floyd Mayweather-Pacquaio fight, or you could have paid nothing and watched it on Periscope. The fight's availability on Periscope sets up a major flashpoint between new and old media, and WSJ-D deputy editor Brian Fitzgerald, he has a story for us. So I realized very late Saturday night that this was actually going on.
Yes.
And I tuned in, I found a stream that had it on, and it was after the fight had ended, actually. I didn't realize it. But I did see what the quality was.
Okay.
And it wasn't great.
Right.
But for free versus $99,
right.
It was pretty attractive.
Sure. I mean, this is a big deal. You know, I tweeted this morning that, like, you know, disruption, that word gets thrown around so often these days, but this really feels like the real deal in terms of disruption. I mean, a $99 fight that people are just sticking their phone up and broadcasting free, and this was a global event.
Yes.
This wasn't some local event. It wasn't a small deal.
Right.
You're talking people in police stations in Africa are broadcasting and watching this event. There are real implications here for how we pay for and consume content.
And it's interesting because HBO and Showtime had the rights to the fight. They put it up on pay-per-view, right? HBO used Periscope.
Right.
Because before the fight, they had a Periscope stream up, and they were in Pacquiao's dressing room, and they were in, well, this is the Dick Costolo tweet.
Sure.
This is, we'll flip to this now. Because Dick Costolo, after the fight, he tweets that out. And the winner is Periscope. And you have to imagine Twitter, which is trying to attract ad revenue, which is trying to bring people in to pay money for its service.
Right.
That had to ruffle a couple of feathers.
Well, you know, look, at some point this is going to come to a head. And media companies, and you think about Broadway, movie theaters, you know, Live Nation, you know, it's not just TV. You know, they're all going to ask, what is going on? What are you doing about this, Twitter? And you know, Nick Costolo and Twitter can't claim ignorance on this fact. For starters, Periscope's terms of service make it clear that copyright infringement is not allowed. Right? So there's that. But then you have the CEO practically, you know, flaunting or bragging about what the service has done. And I think that's kind of a big deal. You know, so
and it's very different. YouTube, you can put something up there that you don't own the copyright to. They can do a takedown. How do you do a takedown of a live event?
Right.
How do you do a takedown of a live event?
By the time that wends its way through whatever process it needs to go through, the event is over and whatever damage is done. But, you know, you brought up a good point, you know, a few seconds ago, that HBO was using Periscope from Pacquiao's room before the event. And this kind of just shows the tension that technology has, you know. We can't just rush out there and say, you know, evil streamers protect the old way. That's not how it works. So you had HBO, which already had an issue with Periscope over streaming of Game of Thrones. Is then turning around and using the service after issuing takedown notices. I think it just shows us that we're in the moment. We're in the moment of a developing technology, and it's exploding in ways that I think people couldn't foresee, and we have to deal with it.
Your best guess. Because, again, this is all in the moment. But your best guess, where does this go in the next couple of months? Courts? Courts? Do you think it really ends up there?
Well, you know, look, this is my speculative guessing.
Well, exactly, we understand that.
But this is the knee-jerk reaction in America, right, is protect. And how do you protect your corporate interests is courts. I can't see, you know, Twitter turning down the service. I mean, look, if you ask me, there'll be threats of legal action. All right, now I'm guessing for the people at home. There'll be threats of legal action. And Twitter is going to have to fast develop some technology to get in front of potential streaming issues. So you use something like Content ID. So you can tell when there is a Pacquiao fight, a Mayweather, that kind of event. And when that kind of event is being streamed, it's immediately shut down. They're going to have to get proactive under the threat of lawsuits. And they're going to want to do it because it's good business. You can't just, you know, you can't just like make Hollywood angry. You know, it's not a good strategy.
All right, we have to leave it there. Brian, excellent. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.